What's up, YouTube? If you've been on this channel, then you know that I am a fan of Knights of the Old Republic, and I have been making videos of that as my pretty much main source of content so far. Well, on that case, I'm going to start bringing in the engineering background that I've been telling you all about so far. I want to show you all something I've been working on for the past week or two, kind of just in the off time from work, you know. Got to make those dollars, because we're not making it here yet, you know what I'm saying? So for the past week, I've been developing a Knights of the Old Republic lightsaber planner. Now, the two things that inspired this was, one, when you look up a custom character builder, you can't really find anything, and the best thing I found was this obscure Reddit post that just had like a link to an Excel document, and that didn't seem very efficient. Two, I've also been looking for a project to do on C++ that is outside of, something online I find, just something on my own. And this is also something I'm interested in and something I saw that maybe there could be a need for that maybe some people like you would enjoy. So I'm doing all this for myself, but also for you guys. So that's a W. So currently as it stands, my lightsaber planner is on version 1.0, and I'm calling it that as I'm releasing this to you guys for the first time. So right now, the app has some different issues I need to get into, and I'm going to show you all kind of what the app can do as it stands right now. So here I have the app, and I can just make it. And once that finishes, I will just run the program. So the first thing it does is load your crystals data, which is just a JSON storing all the information for the different types of crystals and their attributes and what they do to affect your lightsaber. So it'll load those in first, and then you'll input your attributes. I'm just going to go 12 across the board, even though you couldn't actually do that in the game as a start. And then you select your saber type. You have 0 for a single blade lightsaber, 1 for a double bladed lightsaber, and 2 for a short lightsaber. I will use the basic lightsaber type for now. Your saber color crystals, you have the options of blue, green, red, yellow, purple, the Heart of the Guardian, and Mantle of the Force, which are included in the DLC, and we'll get into that more in a moment. I'm going to start off with just blue. Then you have your different crystals that you can select in the game. You have no crystal, and then you have the Rubat, Damid, Aralon, so on and so forth. And then for 16, you can see the crystal details, which will just output the information seen here in this JSON for you to see in your console. Scroll back up and see your options. That's also something I need to maybe just include in the devlog. See, we're making the video and we're doing it together. Whenever you select your crystal, you can see that I selected 0 for the first one, so I selected no crystal. For the second one, we'll select the number 8, because that's my number. Now here's where you see your current output of your lightsaber configuration. You'll have your lightsaber type displayed, your color, your damage for a single blade lightsaber currently 2 to 16, your critical threat range 19 to 20 for a regular lightsaber, and then your ×2 multiplier. You'll show your crystal 1, which there's no crystal here, and then your crystal 2 at the bottom here. The Fawn crystal has a damage of bonus 1 to 6 physical damage piercing. We can see our different options here. We have 0 to swap crystal 1, so let's give ourselves a first crystal. We'll do a 6 for Opala. And now you can see that the Opala crystal has been put here into crystal 1, and you can see the stats that are affected. Well, we can swap crystal 2 to the Rubat. Rubat has a basic attack modifier of 1, damage energy plus 1. Well, right now we are using a blue color saber. We can swap our color crystal. Let's make it red. We're feeling a little Sith today. So now we have a single-bladed red lightsaber, 2 to 16 damage still, 19 to 20, ×2. Currently, the damage and energy and attack modifiers are all displayed down here, and they don't affect this final number. That is a future development in the roadmap. I will get to that later. Well, we can see we can change our lightsaber style to be a double blade. And then you can see, because it was double bladed, they added the balance to it. You have the critical threat range reduced to a 5%, but the damage is increased to 2 to 20 with the red crystal. Everything has been updated to display these stats. You can update your attributes using number 4, and you can decide if you want to just update a single attribute or all of them. If you do all of them, you must update them all. Even if you only want to update 2 of them, you have to kind of put the numbers in for all of them. And that's just the way that it is. But if you just do like 3 for intelligence, your intelligence score could be 15. And then you can show your attributes with 5 and see that this was reflected right here. Intelligence is 15 now. If I do it again, make our strength 15. You can see that your strength has now become 15. So in the future, I'm going to have the option to save builds, load builds, and delete builds. And that's going to be stored on the user side, but we'll get to that later. So when you do this, you can click 9 and exit, or you can Control C whether you know that or not. Getting into the development roadmap, right now we're on version 1.0. things I'm going to do in the future is a storage mechanic. I'm planning to store your builds as a hex value to encode and decode the binary to efficiently save space on your computer, while also allowing you to save multiple builds and delete them and just load them kind of as you wish while you're using the app. I'm going to store them as a JSON file and use a string that you will name them, and then you'll access them through that same string. Currently, as it stands, there's not a maximum or min value for checking your attributes. You can't have negative attributes, but you also can't get about over 23, so I'll have to put in a thing for that. Number 3, I'm going to add the option to toggle a second lightsaber when you're using a short lightsaber or a regular lightsaber. This will be restricted when using a double lightsaber. I'm going to try to put the storage mechanic in before I do this, so once that's done, I'm going to have to redo the storage mechanic, but that's all going to come out in a single release. Here at 4, I'll probably move this up. I'll have the stats of the crystals to integrate into the lightsaber stats, and this will provide option for the user to see crystal stats standalone. And whenever you pull up the crystal to see its stats, you will give a guide on where to acquire each crystal so that you can play in your game on how you would like to build your lightsaber and your route. And number 5, I'm going to update the crystal details to show your options. Again, this will be separate from the lightsaber integrated stats. In the future, once I kind of get this one locked in, I'm going to get familiar with Qt. Qt is a framework for developing apps, and this will allow users to use buttons and images and things like that so they can actually kind of see the development, and it's a lot more user-friendly than just a console that more people could reach. I'm going to kind of get familiar with Qt, begin transferring the console app to the Qt app so the user has a visual way to control what lightsaber they are building, and they can see kind of the crystals and the color of the lightsaber they're developing. I'm going to get a 1.0 of the Qt app completed and onto GitHub for users, and then I'm going to look into seeing how I can get that on Android, iOS, and PC. Itch.io will probably be my first PC option in the Google Play Store. I'll probably hold off on Apple and Steam because you have to give $100 to get an app or game on those, but Steam at least lets you get it back if you make $1,000, although I don't really plan on charging for this. This is more just a side project. Anyways, you can come here to GitHub and you can download it using either a code, HTTPS, or download it as a zip. Either way, the GitHub has instructions on how to download it and how to run it, and look forward to future development. I'll put the link in the description in the below to get to the GitHub so that you can get this code and access the application. And with that, that's going to be the highlight overview of this. I hope you guys use this and download it. I hope you comment down on this video, was this useful for you to use? Did you enjoy using it? Are you looking forward to the future of the development for this? Let me know in the comments. I look forward to all of you using this. As it stands now, I currently don't make anything off this, but if you guys would like to support me, let me know down in the comments if you'd like me to make a Patreon or a Ko-Fi. It would most likely be a Ko-Fi because Patreon necessarily needs you to update it way more often than I'm probably going to get around to this. So if currently you would like to support me, you can head over to my pally.gg page and support me there monetarily if that's something that you feel that you want to do. You don't necessarily have to, but I'd appreciate it great much if you did. I'm not expecting it. As always, a man is lost without the sauce, but the same man can get lost in the sauce. Thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.